steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas, this is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Sunday, March 29th. We're here ready again for final sweet Elite 8 action. I'll get it right one of these years. Elite 8 action today in college basketball with our 2 games today. Great games yesterday. Great games expected today here in the Elite 8. So we have our 2 contests today here in the Elite 8 between the Tennessee Volunteers and the Michigan Wolverines and the Connecticut Huskies taking on the Duke Blue Devils. Man, great combo. I can't wish it was here now. We're just hours away from the action in the Elite 8. We've also got today Major League Baseball on tap. We've got college NBA basketball, NHL hockey. What else can we find to bet on here today? Golf final round underway here. Hey, we're just 2 weeks away, or a week and a half now, from the Masters as well, but we're underway here for the final round in golf here, and see what happens here. Hey, I had a pretty good run this week, finally, with my golfers here this week. If you're subscribed to me over at winnable.com, we've got a chance to win this one. We've got Nikolai Højgaard on our board this week. It was at 22-1 or better right now in second place, 1 stroke back of Gary Woodland. And we also had Sam Stevens here this week. He is 45-1 currently in 5th place, 7 strokes back. Probably not going to get there. It's probably going to be one of those 2 guys up top. Minwoo Lee is in 3rd at 12 under. Thorbjornsen is also at 12 under as well. So got some golf action here today. Also, great tennis match coming up later on the men's side at the Miami Open with Jannik Sinner and Yuri Lechka. Sinner's a pretty big favorite. I think it's favored by 5 games or so in that matchup. So we'll see what happens there with Lechka and Sinner. What else is going on here in the world of sports and sports betting here today? Let me know in the chat as we get the show rolling here on a Sunday. Thank you for joining me here. Let's see who's ready to go in the chat. We got some folks in here already, ready to go with our sports betting day. We got a long show planned. We got a lot of good games, so we're going to have to preview them all here. Well, not all of them, but just about all of them. And we'll also take a look at the action here from yesterday real quick to start the show. Hopefully you were able to join us last night, myself and MMA Jeff, for our coverage of UFC Seattle. Didn't we have a good time there last night, you guys, with the card and the main event? Joe Piper over Izzy Adesanya. Hey, I had Joe Piper here on the show there, and also as a high roller premium over the weekend. So Joe Piper gets the win over Adesanya. Is he falling? Is he done? He said he's not done, but what can you do if you can't win and you can't get to the top? What are you fighting for? That's usually the end for a lot of guys like that, right? You can't get back to the top. Right now, if you're Izzy Adesanya, Joe Piper puts you down big time there. And what do? What are you going to do? Just go out there and fight for your money every week? Just some every time you're out there, just some mediocre fighter lingering around in the division? That's usually when the guys give it up. I saw a guy give it up last night there, and Michael Chiesa give up the UFC, give up the octagon anyway. He went out there with a bang in his win over Nico Price. Maybe it was a setup there a little bit. His other fighter canceled, but Nico Price came in there on I don't know what it was, 30 days, was it 45 days notice, 30-day notice, 15-day notice, and Michael Chisea uh, ended his career there with a victory as well. So, some good fights there, and we had some winners there towards the end. I was struggling there at the beginning of the card, finished pretty strong there with that win. Although, how about that win by Barber? There over or Grasso over Barber. Man, she knocked her out and subbed her at the same time. Never seen that on the ladies' side. That was one of the most impressive women's victories ever there yesterday. Did they ever determine who got the money last night for the best fight and the best performance there? Let me know in the chat. I didn't look it up, but we couldn't figure it out. I mean, so many good knockouts there. Don't know who got the money there. So we did have a great time here at UFC, and we will have a card next week, of course, and we'll have VB MMA picks here coming up. I think the show is at, VB told me, make sure you're joining us here. Let me see if I can't get that for you. Of course, we never get it right, and the time always changes, but could be at Monday at 4. Let's see, we're gonna have to run it on tape delay, I'm afraid. So we'll be coming at you with BB MMA picks. His guest can only make it during Mike's show, so we'll run it on tape delay. It'll be live on the BB MMA picks channel at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on Monday. But we'll have to bring it to you here on a tape delay, it looks like, on the Sports Money Network, because we gotta have our king here. No, they protested yesterday. Mike didn't make the show, probably because of all the protests around the country. They were protesting Mike. No kings, they said. So I think they were talking about Mike. All right, let's say hello to some folks and run down the card here. And Andrew K is first. He's ready to go with us here today. Robert McCormick had a really good day. Art Thompson's here. Nuke is here, ready for a great show. Even Nuke can count the games here on one hand. But good news for Nuke. I mean, we do have next week the college basketball crown starting up. So Nuke is not over with just because some of these games. Don't forget the college basketball crown here in Las Vegas. This one starts on April 1st. This is going to be bigger than the NCAA tournament one day. Well, it won't be, but next week, April 1st and April 2nd, the quarterfinals. It all takes place here in Las Vegas. And the teams involved: Oklahoma, Colorado, Baylor, Minnesota, Stanford, West Virginia, Rutgers, and Creighton. Going to play a little 8-team tournament. The quarterfinals will be here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Then they're going to move to T-Mobile for the semifinals and the finals at the college basketball crown tournament. We're not done after the NCAA tournament, or we kind of snuck it in here in the middle of the week. We have a little tournament out here. Robert said there were 5 walk-offs. I didn't realize that. There were some crazy games. I know that. We're going to talk about a few of them. And the Jays are one of them. Man, these Jays, huh? How about them? AOD is here. The AOD, the owner of the San Diego Padres at this point, is here to get going with us. JP Farley as well. Good morning. And Blake is here. He loved UFC. Nuke says if Duke and Michigan win, he'll have 3 of the Final 4, but Florida didn't make it. But that's okay. 3 is good. There also, he says Zona will cut down the nets. Mike Humphrey is here as well. And Twisted, good morning. M the Great, hello. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Robert gave us some winning props in there. Mike Humphrey did not like the golf. They're underway here. I'm watching right now, and I'm ready to cash. Need to cash. I mean, all my 66-1 money from the first week of the season is just about gone. Got to get another winner here. And everyone like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. All right, and let's maybe take a look here real quick at the scores as well from yesterday in college basketball. And it was, there we go, recapping the action here from yesterday. All right. And it was the Illinois Fighting Illini coming back, crushing them in the second half against the Iowa Hawkeyes there yesterday, covering the spread as well in that victory, 71-59. Iowa led early 12-2. But the game was tied with 10 minutes left, and that's where Illinois took over. They shot 61% from inside the arc. Very efficient. They dominated the boards with a 38-21 edge, and Illinois goes to the Final Four for the first time since 2005. There, Illinois back to the Final Four, and they'll be joined by Arizona. 79-64 winners over Purdue. The Wildcats outscored Purdue 48-26 in the second half. The Boilers could only manage 40% shooting from inside the arc. Arizona 20 of 22 from the foul line. You like to see that. And Arizona's back to the Final Four for the first time since 2001. Wow, that takes longer than Arizona to get back to the Final Four, and you're Arizona. So great job there in that one. And those two teams will advance. We'll preview today's games as well. All right, Major League Baseball yesterday. We were able to bring home some winners here on the morning steam, including the Colorado Rockies. Morning steam winner there over the Marlins on the run line. We also had here on the show, morning steam winners with Houston Astros and that win over the Angels there yesterday, and also winners here on the morning steam with the Seattle Mariners late night over the Guardians. Run line victory there for Seattle. Also bringing it home with White Sox and Brewers game. We had the Brewers minus the 1.5 for a run line victory there. Also, Kansas City and Atlanta somehow stayed under despite the grand slam there at the end of the game for the, could you believe it? The grand slam there for the Braves. The walk-off there is that they scored 6 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning. Dominic Smith with a grand slam less than 2 weeks after his mother died. Nice for him to be able to have a memory there. And Yankees over the Giants. We had the Yankees here on the morning steam show. And, of course, they had the Tigers over the Padres. Some of those games, Guardians over the Mariners, maybe one's had a winner in there with the Mariners, as I said. Or no, I'm sorry. The Mariners did not win that game. The Guardians won it 6-5. With Chase DeLauder, I want to mention, home run in the 10th inning, second player ever with 4 home runs in his first 3 major league games. He joins a guy who's still doing it, Trevor Story, to do that. Luke Raley also has homered in his first 3 games for the Mariners. Mariners can't get singles, but they can get home runs. You know, the Mariners did not have a one single in their first game. The Mariners did not have one single in their first 2 games of the season, not one. The Rays had 16 singles in their first game. Mets over the Pirates 4-2. Luis Robert had that walk-off home run for the Mets, 2-run shot. Talk about some of these extra innings and walk-offs. Blue Jays over the A's 8-7. Toronto scored in the last 7 innings of the game. Almost went picket fence on them. There, the A's led 6-2. My man Shea Langoliers homered, had 4 RBI, but the Blue Jays came back to win. Rangers beat Phillies 5-4 in 10. Philly tied the game with 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth. Seager and Bergertime homered for Texas, but Jacob Latz threw 4 scoreless innings in relief, I should say, in place of Jake DeGrom, who missed the game with a neck injury. He's going to miss his turn to start the season. Cardinals over the Rays 6-5 with rookie J.J. Weatherholt. This guy's taking curtain calls there with so far with the Cardinals. Big walk-off single there in that one. McGreevy, 6 innings pitched, no hits allowed. And they still had to rally for the win 6-5. Tampa Bay had 4 runs in the 9th inning with all those hits that they like to get. And the Reds beat the Red Sox 6-5 in 11 innings. Willie Abreu homered and had 2 RBI there in that one. You know, I talked about the ABS system and, you know, said that, you know what, these umpires are better than we thought. You know, there's some pundits out there making fun of the how bad the umpires are, but I think the ABS is proving that they're pretty good. There's some guys out there who miss a lot of calls, like C.B. Buckner. He's kind of with that old crew that couldn't see anymore, and all the others got fired. He had 8 pitches challenged in his first game. 6 of them were overturned. Probably should take a look at that. But sometimes they have to hold their challenge a little bit. Maybe they don't want to use it because, it could be a situation where their big slugger might need it or something like that. So we'll preview baseball today. NBA winners yesterday here on the Morning Steam included Seattle and Milwaukee game to go under. Also, Morning Steam winners here with what was it? Did we even have any Morning Steam winners here on the show yesterday? Maybe we did with the that was it. That was it. Spurs and Bucks under. We had a push there with the Hornets and the Sixers game to go over for the most part. I scored it as a push, and then also a push with the Kings and the Hawks 236. It landed 236. So I guess I had two pushes, hopefully. And also NHL winners. We had some winners here yesterday on the Morning Steam, including San Jose Sharks at Columbus on the puck line. Didn't need it. They won. Also, Morning Steam winner here yesterday, Dallas Stars over Pittsburgh. Morning Steam winner, Wild and Bruins over Kraken on the puck line over the Sabres in a good one there, an important game there in that one. Also, Morning Steam winner here yesterday with let me get it right here, Utah Mammoth on the road against the Kings there yesterday, and the Capitals did it late over the Golden Knights for the win there. All right, I think that'll do it for that. Don't need that much previews today. Reviews. We need previews here today. So let's see if anybody else has showed up. We can get moving with the show. Yeah, we got enough of you in here at 48. So I think that'll work. Nuke's looking forward to the college basketball crown. Philly Eagle Flyers here as well. Greg Gibson here. Arizona, it looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Greg's loving Duke. Steve's here. Good morning. Greg says UConn struggled with Michigan State. They ain't ready for this Blue Devil team. And Philly Eagle Flyer had the I think Philly Eagle Flyer. MS game, Michigan State game under 8.5. M's Mariners game under 8.5 last leg and live $16.5. They're under. What is that? Does that mean we lost that? I'm trying to figure that out. Philly Eagle Flyer. Tennessee big test today. Also Andrew K here. And Twisted said talking about these baseball prices today. Gary Ferenc is here as well. All right. And hey, you can get more picks from me today over at winnable.com/Ramon. Get on board and find out what I'm doing here. I'm going to give you some free winners, hopefully, in just a moment. But you can go over to winnable.com and get more plays from me. I will have a drawing at the end of the show and give away 1 month of those plays. I thought we had some pretty good plays yesterday. So look, what you do is that's for 41 cents a day, you're supporting me here on the show. But I sent you some winners, in some other sports. Also, my Cover the Spread show already up there for today if you are a subscriber. So you get a little show every day from me in your inbox there. But I also had some winners yesterday there, including, let's see here. Whoops. Also, winners here yesterday included in the premiums with Memphis and Chicago game total to go over. We also had the Giants and the Yankees under. Couldn't really produce a winning card there in those sports, but we did have the Bruins over the Wild there yesterday as a premium winner. Also had Nashville and Montreal game to go under there on our hockey card yesterday. And an okay day there overall with UFC Seattle. Like I said, did have some winners in there, including Piper and Adesanya, Chisea with that sub win over Price yesterday. Also, Bahamondes and Musayev there, and fun time with the guys there yesterday with Mike. I mean with Jeff only there yesterday. Okay, all right. I better get rolling here and start this show because we got a lot of games. Here today. We're going to start with NCAA basketball, and I know you can't wait for these games. So let's get started, and I will tell you what I like here in the NCAA tournament. Started off here with Tennessee Volunteers taking on the Michigan Wolverines, with the Wolverines favored here by 7, total 146. In this one, okay, man. For Michigan, look, what a great season, right? What a great record. I mean, how is Tennessee even going to compete with the Michigan Wolverines? The thing about Michigan here this season and their great season here with just 2 losses, right, is how good they've been inside. But, oh boy, just what's going on here? They just happen to be playing Tennessee, who maybe just be one of the better inside teams in the country right now. So, yeah, Michigan's better. They're going to be favored here, number 1 seed going up against number 6 seed. Remember, Tennessee was left for dead heading into the NCAA tournament. Some people said they didn't even deserve to make it, the way they were losing some of the games there late. For Tennessee, they've allowed just 63 points in their 3 NCAA games so far for terrific defense against Miami of Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa State. Those are 3 good opponents. I would say, and probably because of the seed, that those combination of opponents were probably better than Howard, St. Louis, and Alabama for Michigan. I mean, when you get a better seed, you're going to play an easier schedule here, but Michigan didn't cover against Howard in the 31 in the win there by 21, but nonetheless, Michigan's still, pretty strong here. They have failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games coming into this one. Tennessee is 3-2 against the spread as an underdog this season. For Tennessee, 12-9 against teams in the top 50. They're 13-3 in non-conference games. Tennessee is the number 1 team in the country on the offensive glass. That is something that Michigan does not face, quite frankly. There's some good Big Ten teams on the boards for sure, but hey, this team's number 1. And, well, when you kind of play into the strengths of maybe another team, maybe they can hang here because of their height, their rebounding. It seems like not the best matchup for Michigan. I'm sure every matchup's pretty okay for Michigan right now, but does seem kind of interesting. Michigan shooting 61% inside the arc. That is number 2 in the country. Michigan's the top 3 effective field goal percentage defense and a top 6 effective field goal percentage offense. The Wolverines went 18-3 against top 50s here. They're averaging 88.7 points per game in their 3 NCAA tournament games, if we mentioned there. But look who they played. Wolverines were 13-0 in non-conference games. Last 5 years, number 1 seeds in the Elite 8, 9-2 against the spread. So let's see what you got here. Michigan 2-1 in their Elite 8 games since 2013. Remember, you think of Tennessee and you're like, well, you know what? Tennessee did not really have a great season. They were fading down the stretch. They probably really didn't deserve necessarily to be here. Well, yeah, maybe, but look at last year. Where did they go? They went all the way to the Elite 8 last year before they lost to Houston. And in 2024, what happened that year? They went all the way to the Elite 8 where they lost to Purdue. This is the 3rd straight year for Tennessee in the Elite 8. I think they know what they're doing. Now, they did lose those games by 6 and 19 points, but been there and almost done that. Usually when you get to a pinnacle 3 times, you can, they're an underdog, let's face it. But I don't think Michigan wins this one by 7 necessarily. But I think I'm going to take the under. Maybe that's a more solid play. This Michigan team is so good. They could pull away in the end, just like we saw yesterday from the favored teams. But I want to give Tennessee a lot of credit to have a big chance in this game for exactly the reasons that I just talked about. I am going to take the under, though. For Tennessee, they are 2-8 in the under in their last 10 games. Michigan 12-19 to the under as a favorite. And I think I'm going to take the under as my play here officially, as Tennessee, like I said, they've been going under a lot here lately. And I think they do it with the fact that if you look at the tempo of the 2 teams, the control, the adjusted tempo, you've got Michigan. They are a top 25 tempo team. Okay, they're just like a lot of the good teams around the country, play a little bit fast. and get out and, I don't know, that you think of them as a kind of an inside team too, like they are more sometimes a half court type, but still the stats would bear out that they're 25th in the nation in tempo. Tennessee, not so much. They are 297th. So you got Tennessee. I mean, that is a slow tempo, right? Slow. So I think Tennessee knows how to get this done. If they can keep this game in the 140s, they're going to be live to cover here in this one. And I'm going to go under, though, as my pick here on the Morning Steam show. Give me the under for sure as the play. Yeah, maybe a little concern there, but still, like I said, I think that it's a bad opponent. The Michigan probably still can win, but I think it's a bad opponent for them here against the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. Great to have you guys here. Okay. Let me scroll back here, make sure I get everybody's pick in here. Okay, I think we're ready to go with Tennessee's battling today, says Greg Gibson. Billy Eagle Flyers. Oh, I think we already had that. Tennessee big test today. Okay, and now I'm ready. Twisted UConn to win outright today, Greg says. Michigan, Arizona, the championship game. Twisted says he thought UConn was done in the last round, but they held on. Same for Duke. He thinks UConn puts Duke away. Greg is here. 75-70 Michigan today. Tennessee in the under for Greg. Balls for Blake. Tennessee is done today but can't lay it, so just lay off. Nuke is on the balls. Greg says 73-68. Duke. Oh, I didn't know we were doing that game yet. Twisted says he's going to take Tennessee. Michigan can win straight up in this game. Let's see. Nine Legacy, don't overthink it. Michigan can win the game outright. Tennessee can cover, possibly even win, because the three things we're talking about are indeed possible, or that Nine Legacy mentioned there. Tennessee is good with 7 here, says Greg. Balls and over, though, for Gary. Michigan last game, they had to crawl back in the game near the end, says Greg. Robert's on the balls here. Greg says 75-70 tops their sports money. Stacks McKelvey in the chat. Andrew says, 8.5 is a lot of points here. Do I have the spread wrong? Has it gone up this morning and I missed it here? I am seeing an 8 now at Bovada. 7.5 mostly everywhere. Twisted's already ready for the next game, so might as well just brush this one aside and get moving to the next one. I'm on the under officially here on the show, but I think you hear me loud and clear, and I hear you guys. Feels like mostly Tennessee in there, actually. I thought I was going to be clever bringing up Tennessee in this good inside team. You guys seem to like it too. Okay. Let's move on here now. You guys are already talking about Connecticut and Duke. And this is a high leverage, high voltage game here for sure, with the Blue Devils taking on the Huskies here. And, John Shire getting here to the Elite Eight, man, he's really in some unprecedented territory, or at least that only a couple of coaches have reached this pinnacle here. I think it's the general and his associate. I think it's Bob Knight and Mike Krzyzewski. But Duke here, number 1 seed, Connecticut number 2 seed. So that's all you could do here in the East region with Duke favoring this one by 5. And the total here, 133.5. We are seeing some juiced 5.5s as well in this one. And look, I mean, you'd have to think a low-scoring game between these two for sure. I mean, you've got Duke 12-22 to the under this season, and Connecticut as an underdog 0-0 to the under. This is the first time Connecticut's been an underdog all season. Now, what does that say? That says they're really good. That also says they didn't play anybody better than them. Even Duke was an underdog a couple of times this season. In fact, Duke was an underdog 6 times this season. To who? I don't remember. I'm sure it was those conference games, but and maybe some of those neutral siders. But anyway, Connecticut underdog for the first time this season. That to me, that speaks more about, you know what? Big East got you there. Were they really even the best team in the Big East? We know St. John's was the best. But Blue Devils have won their last 14. Duke 15-1 in non-conference games. Duke's a top 15 team in effective field goal percentage, defense, and shooting as well. Duke lost 2 games this year, and you can count the number of points on one hand minus a finger. They lost by 2 and they lost by 1 this season. Just 2 games, 2 losses, both of them by the slimmest of margins for the Duke Blue Devils this year. So almost a perfect season for Duke. They lost to Texas Tech by 1 point, and they lost to North Carolina by 3 points. So I stand corrected. They lost by 4 points total there. Duke 2-3 in Elite 8 since 2018. Blue Devils are shooting 60% from inside the arc. That's number 7 in the country. Remember, they're a number 1 seed as well. So 9-2 against the spread are number 1 seeds over the last 5+ years now. With this year, we're adding them in here as well. Duke 16-2 against teams in the top 50. And for Connecticut here, 10-4 in their last 14 straight up. That was after the 22-1 start. Connecticut is only top 35 in effective field goal percentage offense, which isn't awful. That's pretty good, but not when you're talking about these others where you see them so up there in the top, 3, 5, 7. Now, one area where Connecticut really, this has to be considered a flaw. They only get 16.5% of their points from the foul line. Why is that? Why don't they get to the foul line? Do they just not call as many fouls on Connecticut's opponents? Maybe there's something to that, right? Hurley is insufferable. Come on. And you think maybe the refs kind of take it out on him a little bit and say, you know what, you whine so much, we're not going to give you any calls. Or are they just not a physical team? Maybe they're more finesse. Alex Caravan, he's held that trophy twice already. He's a very good player, and he's playing very well at this time. But that's good experience. Huskies 9-3 against top 50s. They did play 3 starters 32 minutes in Friday's win. Huskies are 12-1 in non-conference games. Of course, they've won the last 2 of 3 national titles before last year losing to the Gators. All right, let's see how you see this one with Connecticut and Duke. Duke only laying 5. Isn't that juicy there? Where Duke got their players healthy. How come the spread didn't go up? The players were healthy before that. I'm kidding, but it almost seems like they didn't take account for Ngongba there and the guard as well. That's come back here this season with Caleb Foster. I'm trying to think of his name, but not only that, you've got you mentioned someone mentioned Isaiah Evans in the chat. He looks incredible. He's a sophomore. Also, Dame Sarr in there. Caden Boozer as well as Cam Boozer. So, man, Duke, come on. I'm gonna take the over. I really, this one's a little bit odd because for me, I would think here that I would want to go under, especially the way I love to go under. And like I said, there's definitely trends that kind of point to the under with these teams, big time trends. But I think that's too low. I think everyone's onto this with Duke's gone under in 12 of their last 18, 10-22 to the under overall. Connecticut is not a strong under team. They're, in fact, like I said, the first-time favorite, or first-time underdog here, and they were 16-18 to the under this season. So I'm going over, actually, in this game with Connecticut and Duke, really just because I think it's gone a little bit too low here. And it may take a little effort here, but 133.5. So I'm going over as my official play here, but I'm not a big fan of, Coach Hurley. And He's going to have to come up with the coaching performance of a lifetime here. Here we go. Let's see what you got in the chat. And here we go. Man, a lot of comments here on this one as we're going to have a great game today. Justin's on the over as well. How about that? Andrew loves Isaiah Evans. So do I, man. Really good player. And let's see. Robert's on Duke here. R. Tom's liking the over as well. Robert's on the over. And UConn, good schedule there, says Andrew. Greg here, 68-64 there. And Twisted not liking the boozers. I don't know. I really like these. I like the kids. I could look. Boozer was a pretty good pro player. It's hard to deny that, and he did it with hard work. He wasn't the most talented player. I mean, he was one of those grinders down. He was a grinding off rebounding guy. UConn for Twisted on the money line. And Andrew K says this streak continues here for UConn. Duke it over for Steve in this one. March is UConn time, says Andrew. Greg says Duke will be up. UConn will miss a shot and foul. It'll be a 4-point game. How about that? Duke is easy money today, says Nuke. And you can't say Nuke without saying Duke. Duke is out again. UConn money line. UConn, the great UConn divide. All right. Can't stop the Huskies and Caravan. Man, could he get a third title? Wouldn't that be something? How many college players have won 3 titles besides Kareem? Or let's see here. The books will need Duke today, though. Greg Gibson says Connecticut in the under. Terrace Reed, great performer there. And Greg says, you saw what St. John's did to him. And Nuke saying it's juice to the over. Greg says Duke beat St. John's, though. And you don't think Duke, don't think Duke holds UConn to under 65 in this one. He's got over and UConn for Twisted. All right. I'm taking the over in this one as my official play. And, hey, you can check out my pick on this one. You probably know what I'm liking. But, hey, check me out over on a show here on YouTube called Cover the Spread. That's where I made my pick. Look, I really would love to have your support here on the Sports Money Network. Some people actually say, hey, Ramon, we'll give you a little money if you'll do a show for us. Try to pick some winners, by the way. So get my pick on the game over there and Cover the Spread here on YouTube. It's kind of an exclusive thing. I don't give out my pick anywhere else when I'm on that show. They've paid me. They've sworn me to secrecy, apparently. But that's pretty cool. And check that show out. You can also check that show out by subscribing over at winnable.com/Ramon for free. And I have some exclusive picks there every day on Cover the Spread. That's my agreement with them. They said, hey, we like you and make some picks, but you can't give them out anywhere else. We need the exclusivity because apparently the picks are so good. Okay. Appreciate it, everyone. Enjoy those games today. Remember, not like yesterday. These are a little bit earlier, 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific for Tennessee and Michigan, followed by the Duke Connecticut game at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on CBS.
Finals.
Murder, She Wrote. All right, that's it for the basketball. Got kind of a long show here a little bit, and so we better keep it rolling here right now. And a little bit of soccer action today. It is International Week, but there's mostly just some friendlies going on here. I'm watching Georgia and Lithuania right now. No score. What's the odds nobody scores in the second half either? Belarus and Armenia underway just now. Not much happening here in the world of international football today. Where did they go? Where's the international break? Who's doing what? Did I miss the reason why we had this? Did they forget about something? Okay, let's get ready to go here. We're going to go next to Major League Baseball until they get to the postseason. Baseball's second, okay? And here we go with those games. you guys are still talking a little bit about the basketball, and Duke was really my first. I remember watching in my early. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, watching some of those games with UCLA. I didn't really know about national championships. I don't even remember watching a UCLA national championship game in those years, but I do remember watching UCLA. They'd often be on the Saturday college basketball game. They used to have a thing called Raycom Sports, and they'd be on there. And there was some other network that it's not a network, but they'd, produce the games and then send them out to individual stations. So I always watched, but then Duke and Kentucky, that was my first championship. Was that 1977? Duke and Kentucky? That was the first one where I knew what was going on. I knew I was watching a championship game. And also, my mom's boyfriend at the time, they were gambling. They were gambling. They had bets on the game, and I was starting to figure out that there was betting on sports. I didn't know what to do or how to do it, and I didn't know I was going to want to do it forever. But I remember that game, Duke and Kentucky. I want to say it was 1977. All right. Let's go to the MLB because Twisted said he needs it to get some winners here. Let's go to the card today. It's a good card, and for some reason, I don't have I have the pitching matchups, but I didn't put the odds in for our first games. Hey, we got a little bit of breaking news here right now with some personnel today in the NBA. Norman Powell will be out of today's game against the Indiana Pacers. Powell of the Heat, he's out with some back tightness. He will miss the game. We'll preview the NBA here in just a little bit. All right, let's go to it right now and get our picks in and ready to go with Major League Baseball. First up, it's going to be the Twins and Bailey Ovitt. We're already got a typo. Twins and Ober going up against the Orioles and Shane Baz. Kind of sounds like Baz Skaggs. But okay, here we go. In this one, both teams have won each so far. Of course, it was 2-1. The Orioles won the opener, but the Twins came back to win 4-1 in Game 2. Feels like pretty okay pitching matchup in this one with Ober going up against Shane Baz here. Baz $1.55, 8.5 over here in this one. Baz now on the Orioles. That's pretty interesting here. And, Bailey Ober, he's been toiling away there in Minnesota, and he gets a start here on the third game of the season coming in. We'll see what you guys think of this one with the Orioles here taking on the Twins. And we'll take a look at the matchup, too, see how it shakes out for not a full card here today in the major leagues, but for Ober, he's up against a team that I think here in the Orioles, bottom 10 lineup right now, but could be a decent matchup for a couple of these Orioles against Ober, like Trevor, like Taylor Ward in there, Pete Alonso, pretty good matchup for him, Kobe Mayo as well. But for Shane Baz, he's got to get through a couple of guys who could give him a problem on the Twins side, and Byron Buxton, Luke Keeschel here also could be a bit of a thorn, and also Ryan Jeffers in there. Good matchup for him against Shane Baz and Royce Lewis as well. But what do you think here with the Twins taking on the Orioles here? $1.55 is a little bit nowhere land. I don't really want to give out any $1.55s here on the show, but who do you think is going to win this one between the Twins and the Orioles today? I'm going to go to the chat maybe to find out for me and see what you think. Here we go. And it's going to be hello to Gerardo in the chat. He says even if Duke advances, UConn will cover that 5.5. Twisted hasn't been an NBA game since all everything shady in the league. Anything here? Let's see. Blake is on the Twins in this one. Jermaine's on the Ober here with these two. And Gerardo here says Arizona will beat Duke. Thank you, Gerardo. Good to see you in there. Robert's on the Orioles first 5 over. Philly Eagle Flyer is going to lean to the under. Philly Eagle Flyer it never answered why Philly Eagle name is not Philly Eagle Flyer 76. Oh yeah, he did because it's basketball. Baz was a no bet for Twisted. O's bat's not impressing so far here. For the look, I think for the Orioles so far, King of Mount Castle, I'm okay with him so far this season. Wouldn't you be? Also, O'Neill didn't homer. I think did I say he homered on opening day and I got it wrong there? He didn't homer right on opening day. And let's see, anybody else here? Greg says 5-4. JP Farley liking the Twins on the run line here, and there. You know what? This is a spread in nowhere land. I think now the Twins are minus 160 on that run line there, and Orioles are minus 155. Like I said, so this is always a kind of a spread. Like I said, a little bit in nowhere land. Fernando on the under here. Gerardo going with the Twinkies here. And maybe an under here for Twisted. You know, how long has it been? Gerardo's saying hello to Fernando. I mean, two guys that I hung out in so many shows. And is this the first time Gerardo and Fernando have been in the same chat in a year or something? 9 legacies on the Twins. Also, that might be it. Getting some steam right now in a game between the Red Sox and the Reds. I don't know about the steam's coming in on the over here. Full disclosure, I'm going to give out the under later in that game. But right now, the steam's coming in on the over. It's going up here to 8.5. At the Red Sox and the Reds here. Steam to the over right now. All right, well, this feels like a great occasion with two of my favorites, two of my ATFs, Gerardo and Fernando. Okay, I guess I got to make the call here in this one with these two. Like I was, when you're in $1.55 and you got a run line favorite of $1.55, and it probably will be a one-run game. But is there really any value to taking that run line in there? Oh man! All right. Well, I can't wait forever. I mean, I got it. Okay. Oh, okay. Some sports we're not covering here necessarily. All right, I'm going to take the under in this one, Minnesota and Baltimore. Give me the under. When all else fails, just give me the under here with these two, with Baz and Ober. I know that might not excite a lot of people here, but I'll take it. I'll take it under to get our show started, and I got to move on. Under is the play, says Twisted. He does like it. Okay, here we go. Let's keep it going. Rangers and the Phillies here in this one. You got Mackenzie Gore going up against Jesus Luzardo in this one. Gore gets the start here. The Rangers are having a little bit of personnel issues here just to start the season. It's not a terrible option here, obviously, with Mackenzie Gore. I think he is on the downturn of his career, but you're still going to trust him here, at least in a start today, I guess, against the Philadelphia Phillies. And let's see how you think of this one. But Gore is in there. Luzardo's in there. Luzardo just signed a $135 million contract last Monday. So, he's pretty good here. Was pretty strong last year, 15-7, 3.92 ERA, 2.9 FIP, 1.22 WHIP, and 216 strikeouts over 183 innings. So pretty good numbers there for Luzardo. And, in this series, I mean, what can you say so far from what we've seen? from the Phillies in this series against the Texas Rangers, right? Yeah, lost the first one, but able to bounce back, get that second win there, or vice versa. Won the first one 5-3. Texas won yesterday, as we mentioned. That's the second time I thought the Phillies won, and they didn't so far on the show. But let's see what you got here with this one. And Phillies, again, a bit of a significant favorite here for sure. The Phillies have won here. Let's see, they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Philadelphia when the Rangers have come in here at $1.50, though. Man, is it still $1.50? Thought it went down a little bit here, actually. Oh no, $1.60, $1.60, $1.55, $1.65. It's getting pretty expensive here. I mean, probably could only favor the Phillies in this one, and I just have to ignore the price because the matchup might be a little bit. The matchup might be a little bit too good. I think in this one, maybe we'll see the pitching come through here, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Phillies in this one. $1.55, $1.60. I don't want to go much higher than that, but I'm going to take the Phillies here. Let's see what you guys have. Tremaine's here today. He's here. He's on the Phillies on the run line. Pardon me, gang. Really want to rub my eyeball. Tremaine says Bailey over today. Gerardo's on the Phillies. Robert's on the under here. Rangers run line under for 9 legacy. Fernando Phillies run line. Twisted likes Gore. I'm down on Gore for sure. Let's see here. Farley on the Phillies. And Fernando liking the Phillies team total over. Twisted going under. Philly Eagle Flyer says first 5 under. And Greg says 5-3 for the Fightin' Phils. I'll move on to the next one here with the Royals taking on the Braves. Man, they wasted that performance yesterday from Waka, and now the Braves have won 2 in a row. They won the first one 6-0 win yesterday. 6-2 it was 2-0. Heading into the bottom of the 9th inning, there gave up the 6 runs, and then the grand slam, a walk-off grand slam for the Braves, leaving the Royals. You got to be demoralized. Can you really get up and say, hey, let's get all excited and fired up for the next one after losing last night in such, maybe it was good that it was 6-2. I don't know, it doesn't hurt any less, when you give up that type of big ball like that. But let's see what you got here. Kansas City and Seth Lugo going up against Grant Holmes here for the Atlanta Braves.
Steam playing.
Got some steam coming in here right now in the game between Tampa Bay and St. Louis. The steam's coming in on the under here in this one, and we're seeing this one go down from 8 to 7.5 right now with Max and May. May's going to get shelled in that game, but the steam is coming in on the under here. Maybe he is going to have a good performance here. But steam on the under right now, Tampa Bay and St. Louis. That one just in here to the morning steam. All right, let's hear from you in this one, though, with Lugo going up here against Holmes. For the Braves, they're coming in certainly with, I think, a top 10 lineup. They're going to have a great matchup here for some of these hitters. I would think Baldwin, Olsen, Yastrzemski, Albies, Harris. That's a lot of guys that are going to be able to take advantage, I think, of Seth Lugo today. Not too thrilled with another $1.50 favorite here, but $1.59, in fact, at Bovada. But I see the Braves taking advantage of a demoralized Kansas City team after what we saw yesterday. Now, Kansas City's got a top 10 lineup, but I don't know if they have necessarily a distinct advantage in this particular matchup against Grant Holmes. I think too many of the Braves have good matchups here against Lugo, and I'm going to take the Atlanta Braves to win this one over the Royals today. Give me the Braves at $1.50, maybe even $1.60 now. For my play, let's see what the chat says. It's going to be 9 legacy on the Royals. Justin says, give me Trey Turner, 2+ bases. Greg has it 5-2. Justin says Baldwin 2+ bases. He likes him today. I like him too. I think he's one of the best plays on the card actually today in the prop department. Lugo, weak against lefties, says Twisted. Atlanta's got a few of them in the lineup today, right? Yeah, that's just it. It's a big-time advantage for these guys in the splits today, no doubt about it. Fernando, Turner, 2+ bases here possibly. And let's see here. Greg says Royals are garbage. Tampa Bay money line, Twisted. Roberts on the over. Royals only have a few good pitchers, and that's it. Nothing. You mean also? I think this offense is a top 10 offense. I think the Royal Pasquantino. We saw what he did, right? I think he's ready for a big year. I think with Witt batting above him here, I think they've got a pretty decent offense. It might get a little thin quick. You hope Sally can keep on going here right now, but with Jensen, India, Caglione. I like these guys. Even Kyle Isbell, my man Kyle Isbell there. I like the Royals lineup. I don't know if I like him today, though, against Grant Holmes. I'm more so liking the Braves lineup there. All right, let's see here. JP Farley's on the Braves. Blake is on the Blake's on the Braves. And my man Roman Anthony for Jermaine. He's Roman Anthony. I'm Ramon Anthony. Over 1.5 on his hits, runs, and RBIs. Okay. That's it for that one. When the comments are done, we got to move on with our big card. A's and Jays. Get ready here with the Jays. And got Lauer going here for the Jays. So, look, the veteran left-hander here. The Blue Jays have done just fine winning these first two games over the A's. Yep, they were tight. They were good games. Want to kind of, give the A's some credit here, despite being 0-2, losing by 1 run. But nonetheless, the Jays kind of a big favorite here, though, with Lauer at $1.60 or so. I don't know if I like Lauer at that price. Actually down to $1.45, $1.49, $1.55 here right now. But Toronto wins the first two games by the scores of 3-2 and 8-7 coming into this one for the Athletics here. And Morales here. This is Luis Morales here for the A's. And, we saw him come up late last year. Did have some interesting performances there for a while. 7 innings against Detroit, allowed just 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Also, dominating performances against the St. Louis Cardinals. Good performance against Seattle late in the season as well. So, look, some good numbers late in the season for Morales here. And maybe he can get something going against the Jays, at least keep them in the game here. I don't know. This one feels more like the 3-2 than the 8-7 to me. Still, you got 2 top lineups, both of them. A's and the Rays both have top 10 lineups, in my opinion. I think the A's have a good lineup. I think that's their pitching that is kind of the problem. But, when you're playing up there in Sacramento, you're going to, want more hitters here for this year anyway. They'll be in Vegas next year. So let's see what you have here in this one with the Rays. You can call me Rays, and you can call me Jays. A's are just 2-7 their last 9 games against the Toronto Blue Jays. 7 of the last 12 between the two have gone over. Toronto's won 6 straight at home against the A's here. So, still a little bit of a price here, $1.55. But, still going to be a pretty big advantage, it feels like, here for the Blue Jays today. But, man, the A's stay in there every time. A 1-run game, and I think it'll probably be another 1-run game. Unfortunately, the price is $1.50 for the A's on the run line. But All right, let's see what you got here. Like I said, I think we're going to have, some good pitching here in this one today. That's probably the direction I'll probably go here. Give me the under in this one with the A's and the Jays. And let's go to the chat and see what you have to say here in this one. It's going to be Twisted talking about all those extra inning games yesterday. And good thing we put that runner at second base, huh? 9 legacy on the A's on the money line. Blue Jays over for Justin here. But I'm on the under. Let's see, Blake's on the Athletics money line. Greg says 5-4. JP Farley going over. You guys are going over. Here's over for Twisted. A's are more even. They were decent last year, right, Nuke? Man, you got them even more improved. Hey, they're going to be good when they get to Vegas. Twisted says bet the over. Robert's on the A's on the run line. I kind of like that, but I'll take the under here in this one. Okay, great day for some baseball with the basketball game going at the same time. There's going to be some good sports today. The Rockies and Marlins. I've just ruined it here. The Rockies. Hey, I'm going to take the Rockies here. I already know I'm taking the Rockies on the run line. Look what we've seen kind of so far. It just feels like a one-run game waiting to happen. Watch out, though. Quintana and Meyer. I was making fun of the Rockies last night. Imagine being a Rockies fan. Imagine being a Rockies season ticket holder. You buy your tickets every year. They call you on the phone. Hey, we'd like to have you. And they never come through. They never sign anybody. They never keep anybody. What a disrespectful front office this team has and ownership for the Rockies, right? Such a loyal fan base, great crowds all year throughout the spring, throughout the summer. What a great place to watch a game. And they never give the fans any hope. Never give them, I'm mad because Bud Black's over there with the Padres now, and he wasted so many years over there. Probably, the Padres probably should have never got rid of Bud Black and gone through the carousel of managers that they did. They would have been just fine keeping a guy like Buddy Black, but they had to go, in their years where they were, doing a little damage in there. That's all right. Now they've got Buddy Black. Prediction. Because I'm worried about my Padres, and I know we'll talk about, we're not talking about it today because they're not playing, but we're talking about the Rockies. But Bud Black, okay, he's in the Padres organization now. Padres hired Craig Stammen to be the manager of the Padres. He's a former major league pitcher, played mostly with the Nationals. He pitched with the Padres too. No experience in managing. Basically was in the managerial hiring process with A.J. Preller, sat there with him in the meetings, in the interviews, and Preller turned to him and says, none of these guys are any good. Why don't you do the job? Stammen, he's a deeply really rooted Christian guy. Hey, I like that. And maybe he will do the job. But major league pitchers do not make good major league managers. That's just proven right now in today's era. Usually you want to go with a catcher. Now, I say that Bud black was a pitcher, but Bud Black has all the experience. This is a first-time guy. The problem with the Padres is they always hire an insufficient manager. The Padres are a team that you need a high-level manager to take the team to the next level. What's going to happen here is Stammen gets fired. Bud Black comes in to manage the Padres again after all these years. I don't know if it will happen during the season, but if it does, that'll be bad news, actually. All right, I'm talking Rockies, though, here, and they lost the first 2 games of this series. Give the Marlins a lot of credit here. They've come up big time, 2-1 and 4-3. But as I said, both of those games were one-run games, and I think that's what's going to happen today. I think Georgia's just scored here on Lithuania. So I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies plus 1.5 minus $1.35 here. This one, if it went 2-1 the first game, 4-3 in the next game, it's going to be 5-4 minimum in this game. I think we're going to get the runs here with Max Meyer. And look, I was a fan of Meyer last year. I might even be okay with him this year. But here on Sunday in this one. I'm going to have a high score between these two. Mostly, watch out for the Rockies in this offense. I haven't looked at the chat yet, but I would imagine, I don't know, Justin, if you better be on Hunter Goodman. Somebody better be on Hunter Goodman. I haven't looked at the chat yet. I'm going to right now. And I think Hunter Goodman's my top play in this game. But I like a couple Rockies here today. I like Goodman. I like Ezekiel Tovar. I like Brenton Doyle. And I like Kyle Karros. All right, let's see what you got in the chat. I'm going to it right now. Here we go.
Final.
Yeah, Twisted. Why not? But we are saying, right, look at the pitching is tired already. I think in this era, we have to have the ghost runner. The pitching is just too good, right? It is funny, though. We're getting some of these games and these extra innings, and the runner's scoring every time, pretty much. Fernando, A's first 5 over. Nuke doesn't like it. Do you think we could go with the first 3 innings? How about just 1 inning, no ghost runner? 1 inning, no ghost runner? I'm okay with that. Rockies money line for Twisted. Go over, says Jermaine. Nuke, let's see, no, Greg 5-3 here. Fernando, Rockies team total under. Rockies need to invest in major league pitching. That's what they need to do. Rockies money line says 9 legacy. Todd Helton was great. Todd Helton was great, no doubt about it. Todd Helton, man, the former punter and quarterback from the University of Tennessee. Everybody. Back in the day, we couldn't believe that, right? Josh says, "Oh, Josh, my man, come on! We've won 2 National League pennants." All right, Justin Lycan Goodman with me now. Take a look at his numbers there. Nuke, breaking news. But the thing what Nuke says is right, and it's an insult by these a few team owners in this league. They're just taking the money. They're taking all that TV money, and funny with baseball, it's supposed to be a game where regional and some, like, even my Padres are having trouble. I bought the Padres here last year. I watched them on the illegal streams. That was fine, but now you can buy. I just paid the $100 to get all the Padres games. They're blacked out in Las Vegas on the package. You have to. In Las Vegas is the toughest. Here's the thing, crazy. Las Vegas is in the region of 5 teams. 5 teams are blacked out. Can anybody in any city in the country say they're blacked out from 5 teams? Here in Las Vegas, the Giants, the A's, the Dodgers, the Angels, 6 teams. The Padres and the Diamondbacks are all blacked out in Las Vegas because of, you could, like I said, you could buy the Padres, and that's what I did. And I also get 2 channels. So I get the Giants, I get the A's because I subscribe to these 2 channels. But in general, if you go to you got to watch it on those channels. If you go to the extra innings package or whatever they call it nowadays, extra innings, MLB TV, you'll get those teams. They're blacked out. 6 different teams are blacked out in Las Vegas. All claim the territory here in Vegas. I don't know how it's going to change next year when the A's come to town. Okay, here's a parlay for Twisted. Colorado, super garbage bucket. All right, here we go. That's it. Oh, I'm taking the Rockies. Next up, Pirates and the Mets here. I like this pitching matchup. You got to love Nolan McLean. Now, we talked about some of the pitchers from the World Baseball Classic maybe overexerting themselves, and we've already seen a couple of pitchers maybe not quite have their best stuff when they came back. Could be a letdown, of course, but also, it is okay. Great tournament. Probably got to keep it in spring training. There is talk about moving it to the middle of the season. That would be rough, but, you'd hate to see somebody get hurt. Hockey did it, but the problem here in the beginning of the season is you got to ramp the pitchers up, where usually pitchers take their time. I hope no one gets hurt, but you build up your arm strength, right? These pitchers came in and they had to fire. That's like what happened with Paul Skeens, right? And maybe with Nolan McLean, who's even younger than these guys, could it be a problem here? Now, I like both these pitchers long term. It's just that McLean had to go there. And, of course, I love Carmen Mlodzinski. I think I've always been a big fan of his ever since he turned down the money to stay at South Carolina. But, I think Mlodzinski's got a future here. He's already looked pretty good in his career, I think, so far. So, but definitely going up against a tough lineup here today, no doubt about it. And, and the Mets are favored here, $1.85 for a reason. But I as much as I want to talk up the pitchers here, I'm probably going to go over. Hey, we do have the lineups in Minnesota and Baltimore. Let me give those out here real quick if I can. For Minnesota today, Clemens, Buxton, Keyshaw, Wallner, Bell, Caratini, Larnach, Lewis, and Gray. For the Orioles, Ward, Henderson, Alonso, Mountcastle, Basallo, O'Neill, Mayo, Beavers, and Jackson. We'll do any other lineups that come in here to the show. Did anybody see yesterday when in the UFC when we were on the air here and Michael Buffer read the wrong result? Bruce Buffer read the wrong result, and the referee raised the wrong hand, and nobody could believe it. Even the guy who won's like, wow, I thought I guess I didn't do enough. All right, give me your pick here with Pittsburgh and the Mets, Mlodzinski and McLean. Nolan McLean. Hey, they don't call him Nolan for nothing. Nolan McLean, this guy's going to be, he's already a stud. He's on the U.S. national baseball team already. But Mets did win the first two games, and they did win it kind of convincingly, 11-7 and 4-2. Remember the 11-7 game? That was a bit of a disaster there for the Bucks with Cruz O'Neill having those rough innings in there. But the Mets here, $1.75. I probably should. They probably should do it again with McLean on there. They should have a big advantage, actually. Want to give the Pirates a chance somewhere, but you think McLean, he's going to bowl over Ryan O'Hearn, Brian Reynolds, Brandon Lau. These guys are in trouble against him today. And not only that, you got this number 2 Mets lineup, in my opinion, number 2 in the league, going up against Mlodzinski here. I don't think they have overall overwhelming advantages against Mlodzinski. Again, I like Carmen Mlodzinski, but still, you're going up against a pretty strong lineup. But good for him to make the opening day rotation here in the number 3 spot too. So that's pretty good. And last year, 99 innings of work. He started. He relieved as well. 3.33 ERA, 8 Ks per 9. 2.5 walks could probably be improved on. 47.5% ground ball rate. So, look, he could end up, having a pretty good season here. It's tough when you're the Pirates, I know. But, okay, what are we going to do here? I'm going to just take the New York Mets on the run line here today. I'm going to do it with this one. Even though I just talked up Mlodzinski here, you got to look to Nolan McLean. Let's see what the chat has in this one. Mike said, just go to the casino remote. I get all the games, Mike. I'll find one way or the other. Twisted, I may have a card. I may have a card here in the Cookout 400. I know I've not done well, so I was a little bit hesitant there. I send out a free card on NASCAR for a few of the events. I think I've done 3 this season. Haven't hit one yet, but I did change it up last week, and we did hit a couple of plays in there. It was a losing card, but unlike the golfer, I'm sending out just my golfers. In NASCAR, I kind of tapered it down a little bit, and we did have Toyota. It was easy last week, right? Pirates run line and under. Pirates first 5. Thank you, Twisted. I'll send it out if you're signed up over at Ramon /Ramon at Winnable. I'll do a NASCAR card today. Let's see here. Bobby Mack's on the under. Greg says 4-3 Mets. Here's Pirates money line for 9 Legacy. JP Farley liking that Mets run line. And thank you, Twisted. Great call there. All right, that's it there for that one. Let's keep it moving here on the morning steam. And did just get the lineups in for this one between the Red Sox and the Reds. Oh, Kansas City and Atlanta. We got the lineups there as well. That's what we like to do here on Sunday. Read those lineups, see who's in, see who's out. Sundays you get a lot of days off too. For Kansas City, Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino. How can you not like this lineup? Perez, Carter Jensen, real interesting. Thomas, Caglione, Nick Lofton, and Kyle Isbell. I like that. Braves here, though, Acuna, Baldwin, Olson, Riley, Yastrzemski, Albies, Harris, Smith, and Mateo. Here we go with the Reds and the Red Sox. We got the lineup in here. Connerly early going for the Red Sox here. Look, we saw both these guys. Louder was injured last year, but he looked good in 2024. For the Red Sox, Anthony, Story, Duran, Contreras, Abreu, Durbin, Yoshida, Mayer, and Wong. For the Reds, Friedel, McLean, De La Cruz, Stewart, Suarez, Steer, Myers, Stevenson, and Marte. Also, we're getting the Athletics and the Blue Jays lineups in here as well right now. We'll take a look at those with Luis Morales and Eric Lauer. For the A's, Langoliers, Kurtz, Rooker, Soderstrom, Wilson, Muncy, Ernaiz, Wins, and Clark. For the Blue Jays, Springer, Sanchez, Vladdy, Barger, Okamoto, Varsho, Clement, Jimenez, and Heineman. Get to those lineups as they come in. We're waiting Texas and Philly here. All right, the Red Sox here with Connerly early. Looked pretty good last year. I mean, great to see early in this spot here in a number 3 rotation position right now coming into this one. Red Sox won the first one 3-0. Reds won the next one 6-5 here. And I don't think it's necessarily a overwhelming advantage for this Red Sox lineup, but I think for Connerly early, it's probably getting a pretty good advantage, especially over guys like TJ Friedel in there. Probably who else was in there? I just read the lineup. Now I got to look again. Big time advantage over TJ Friedel and a good advantage over the rest of the lineup. But the Reds are going to come in here split heavy in this one. But let's see what you've got here with these two. Like I said, I already gave my pick out. I'm on the under in this game. Steam came in on the over, so I'm happy about that. We can go under, I believe it's up to 8.5 here a little bit in some places. 8.5 at Circa, 8.5 everywhere. 8.5. I like the under in this one actually here. Look, I think Quinterly early is probably going to have a pretty good start, pretty good performance here against the Reds today. Now, for Lauder, if you don't remember, Lauder was around back in 2024, came up, looked pretty good, but that was it. He was hurt all of last year, so really nice for him to make this rotation here right now. They have some injuries currently due the Reds here, so it's kind of forcing their hand a little bit, but this guy was a 7th-round pick out of Wake Forest. Looked good in 2024 in just a small call-up, pitched in 6 games, 1.17 ERA, 22-14 strikeout to walk ratio wasn't great. But with Nick Lodolo starting the season on the injured list, Lauder gets a chance. And make the most of your chances. Georgia just scored against Lithuania. So, look, I still think it's a little bit of a mismatch here. I think Quinterly early against the Reds here. This is like a pretty good price, actually. But I'll take the under in this one as my play with early and Lauder. Let's see what you got in the chat in this one. And, hey, Ken Wood. Nice to see Ken Wood in there. He's a little behind us, but he went with McLean over in his props. Thank you, Ken Wood. Good to see you in there. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Pirates run line in there for Bar. Everybody's a little behind, but yeah, Twisted. Go ahead. Hey, hope you're signed up to those free picks. I thought, like, I'm going at it. I'm really breaking it down here and trying to kind of play some correlated plays with some different things. I'm trying to expand my NASCAR betting a little bit. Twisted maybe on the Reds. Bars on the Red Sox. Boston here for Greg. Reds under for Blake. 9 Legacy. Reds run line and under. Roberts on the Red Sox money line. And we're not sure what we're going to get out of Louder. I've got it. I'm going to go under though. JP Farley's on the Red Sox. We keep it moving here right now. Next up, Angels and Astros in this one. And this is the 4th game of the series between these two already. How about that? Angels finally lost one after winning the first 2. They're in game number 3, 11-9. The first game was 3-0. The pitching was on. The next game was 6-2. It was right on the total there pretty much. Then it was 11-9. What's going to happen today? Is it going to be 15-14 or something? You've got Jack Kohanowitz here for the Angels in this one. And here, let me tell you, for the Astros here, you've got the import, the Japanese import coming in here. This is Tatsuya Amai for the Astros here. Pretty good number, real good numbers actually in Japan. That's why he's here. But for Tatsuya Imai, looked good in spring training as well. Pitched 8 years in the Nippon Professional Baseball League last year. 1.92 ERA, 201 FIP, 163 innings, 178 strikeouts, 45 walks. Probably going to have to improve on that in the major leagues, but for the Astros, he's basically the replacement for Framber Valdez here, and we'll see what we get from Tatsuya Imai here. Good spring training also, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk in 7 strikeouts over 6 innings there in one of his late tune-ups against the Marlins, and only 1 walk in spring training, I believe, for Imai, which is good because they've had those problems there overall. So we'll see. I know everybody's going to want to see him here, but it's probably a little bit more established, even though Kohanowitz has been around here for a few years now. Probably Imai, look, $1.75. I mean, what are you going to do? But again, I don't know. The Astros here kind of blasting these guys early on already. 3-0 or 11-9 yesterday. But like I said, the Angels did get those first 2 wins, so don't sleep on that. The Angels here, though, I've got 2 teams that I believe have bottom 5 lineups here, but I don't know if that's going to stop them today. This is the 4th game of the series. It does feel like the runs were piling up there yesterday, and I do want to see what we got from Imai here, but I think there's going to be some runs. It is 9 under 15 after all. Let me make sure of that here and see the current line. But 9 under 15, pretty much everywhere you look, it feels like right now. So go to the chat, see what you guys have in this one. Division series here, so you do have a little bit of comparative history. You don't have to rely just on a few data points here at this point. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the 2 teams have gone under here in Houston. 5 of the last 6 meetings overall have gone under as well. But I don't know. I don't know if those are just trends at this point, because I think I prefer this one to go over today. Let's see, though, what you got. The Astros just passed them up yesterday. The first 2 games were they fluky. Here we go. It's going to be JP Farley took the Red Sox back there in this game against the Reds, and also NYC Bar Red Sox. Here we go. Blake's on the Astros under. VAR's on the Angels run line. Greg says 5-3 Houston. 9 Legacy's on the Angels. Twisted says Angels run line. Could be a sneaky under in there. Robert's on the over. JP Farley says Astros on the run line here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take the over in this one with the Angels and the Astros. All right. Next up, we're making it through here. White Sox and the Brewers in this one. You've got, oh boy, you got some inexperienced pitchers here coming in, but that's all right. We'll take a look here at Anthony K. Yeah, Anthony K here in this one for the White Sox, and for the Brewers here, you've got uh, Brandon Sproat. And we saw Sproat a little bit there last year. Man, $1.65. It's been rough, man. Real rough here for the White Sox so far again. They've even had their moments in the first two games there for a brief split second. Now they've been outscored 20-3 in the series here so far. One-sided for the Brewers. Look, the Brewers, it's just not playing the White. Yeah, they're playing a weak team, but, watch out for the Brewers right now. For Sproat, pretty good advantage here against the bottom 10 lineup like the White Sox. Meanwhile, the Brewers in this lineup, I've got them ranked third here currently. And offensively, this lineup, Terang, Contreras, I don't think we have the lineup in just yet. We did get that Texas Philly lineup in here. Let's take a look at that too, real quick, if I may. But also just touching on this one here a little bit, $1.65, 7.5 over 15. For Texas today, Nimmo, Langford, Seager, Berger, McCutcheon, Higgy, then Jung, Haggerty, and Duran. For the Phillies, Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Bohm, Garcia, Sosa, Real Muto, Kemp, and Crawford. All right, what do you think here, though, with the White Sox and the Brewers? Brewers here at $1.65, actually pretty decent run line price, too, and they've just smashed them in these first two games. You can get probably $1.15, $1.20 plus money here. I'm just going to take the Brewers on the run line here in this one, please. I'll do it. We've seen some big sticks so far from Contreras in there, from Ortiz. Watch out for Ortiz today. There, I know he's at the bottom of the lineup, but probably get some pretty decent price on him there. All right, let's see what you got in the chat. And hey, I want to say hello to Shimona. My Shimona. Nice to see you in there today. We're going to do some UFC streams here on Sports Money. Yeah, we did one yesterday. It was great. We had a great time yesterday with that card, didn't we, everybody? Blake here on the Brewers run line. Bar's on the Brewers run line. And here's Greg Gibson. He's on Milwaukee here. And here's Robert on the over here. Here is Farley, Brewers run line. Bobby Mack, Brewers first five. And Nine Legacy says Brewers for Street. What does that mean? Brewers for Street. For Street. For run. Well, all right. I'm going to take the Brewers in this one. Run line. All right, the Rays and the Cardinals here. Like I said, the Rays are going to be a hitting machine this season. I don't think there's any fluke to it here right now. Rays coming in here. I'm going to be on them in this game against Dustin May. I think Dustin May, look, I've been a Dustin May fan. I've tried to root for him. I know he's, I'm not blaming him. He's been set by, so many injuries in his career. It's just affected how effective that he can be. And so it's kind of a bummer, actually. But I think today we got to, with this Rays offense. Now, look, both these games have been wild games so far. 9-7, 6-5, and the Cardinals won them both. I think the Rays bounce back and get one here today, mostly going against Dustin May.
Final.
Look, you got make no mistake here, you got Matz going in this one. So we'll see how Steven Matz does going up against, at least he's facing what I think should be the worst lineup in baseball. Now, so far, I wouldn't say that's the case with the 12 runs so far for St. Louis. Give him a lot of credit. But against Dustin May here, I got to like the lineup all the way up and down the lineup here today for the Rays. Whoever's in there. Diaz, Diaz, Aranda, Fraley, Caminero, Mullins, Simpson. These guys are hitting machines right now. And I think that the Rays are going to continue to look impressive here in the weeks to come. I think they're a team you want to maybe latch onto. They're back in their old stadium right now as well. So look, we're always going to be up against the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Orioles, and that's what makes it tough. So year in, you're out to be the Rays. That's what is wrong with division baseball, right? You have to play the same division. Doesn't quite seem fair. It would be fair if you made it exactly regional, right? But the Rays are down there in Florida, and they match them up against those great East teams. They're from up the coast. So let's go with you guys here in the chat today. I'm on the Rays. I've already said it. Give me the Rays. Here we go. All right. It was great to be with MMA Jeff. Boy, did he ever save the show yesterday? I was struggling there in the beginning trying to figure out how we were going to make the show work. I mean, just goes to show you how good of a job Mike does. But I didn't know until I showed up 1 minute before airtime. No mic. Hope he's okay.
Final.
He went on a last second trip to Canada, didn't even get his plays. So, but nonetheless, Jeff saved the show there yesterday. I'll tell you that. Let's see here. Rays run line for 9 legacy. Raise it up. Raise the roof. Greg says Tampa 6-3. Farley on the over. Extendo here for Greg. And Roberts on the over. I'm taking the Rays here, but how can you think there's not going to be a ton of runs here? Jimbo's here. All right, I'm moving along. Nationals taking on the Cubs here with Shoto Imanaga going up here against Jake Irvin. They've split the games so far. The winning team scored 10 runs both times in the series. So far, Cubs won yesterday 10-2. Should have a pretty distinct advantage here in this one, but it is baseball after all. So for Shoto Imanaga going up against this Nationals team, a bottom 10 offense for sure, and he should have a pretty strong advantage over Wood, over Milas. You got to look at some of these guys for the Nationals. Drew Milas. He did have what did he have yesterday? A walk, okay. Lyle as well, Dalen Lyle. Big time advantages here for Shoto Imanaga today. And then offensively, too, against Jake Irvin, Michael Busch, Ian Happ, PCA. Big time advantages here today for the Chicago Cubs. Yes, they are minus 240. Probably worth taking on the run line, but maybe probably just go with the total here because of the fact that it is such a one-sided game. I'm sure everybody's going to want to just take the Cubs anyways. Anybody out there not taking the Cubs here? Let me know about that. I'm going to take the over here in this one. Looking at the weather here in Chicago today, wind is blowing out to left field, 12 miles an hour. It's warming up, 57 to 60 degrees. Here today, and maybe the balls are going to be flying. I've got the over here in this one with the Nationals and the Cubs here on Sunday. Give me the over at 9.5 runs with the wind blowing out of Wrigley here today. It is juice to the under. You might be able to get 9/18 at DraftKings, but I'm going over with these two. Here we go with some picks. Cubs run line for Robert. Cubbies for Chicago Joe. And Jermaine's on the over. I think Jermaine went with the Nats back there a little bit. Fernando says Brewers run it back again. Fernando, that's remember, he's our Brewers correspondent. A 9 legacy Chicago run line. Greg says 6-4 Cubs. Blake's on the over. Farley Cubs run line. Chicago Joe says a beautiful day in Chicago today. And Robert's going over. And I am going with the over here as well. Robert says both pitchers can get tagged a little bit here in this one today. I do have, actually, though, I have Imanaga been, we know how good he is. I think he will be able to have a bit of an advantage on these guys today. The Cubs may end up getting a run line on them, but I'll stick with the over. One more in the major leagues. It's going to be Slade Ciccone on the World Tour, taking on the Mariners, and Hancock. Sunday Night Baseball is now on Peacock. All right, and in this one you have so far third. This is another 4-game set here that coming to an end. Cleveland's won twice. Seattle won 5-1 on Friday. So 2-1 so far for Cleveland, 1-2 for Seattle. But you got Emerson Hancock. Sounds like a dirty joke, doesn't it? For Hancock here, about down to $1.40 in this one. The move is clearly on Cleveland here after winning those first 2 games. Look, we've had some success betting on Slade Ciccone, but I'm critical of the Seattle lineup. It's still pretty good. They just don't play it the way some of the teams do. They're a Earl Weaver style offense with a couple of walks and a 3-run homer. But for Hancock here, going up against the bottom 10 lineup, but it is a good matchup, I think, for the Guardians against Hancock. It's just that I think the matchup might be, too much for Ciccone, top 5 lineup here like the Mariners today. So does feel like, look, the score yesterday was 6-5, and the first game was 6-4 when Cleveland won. So I might be going over here in this one in Sunday Night Baseball tonight. Yes, Hitters Park, whatever, but right now I'm not sure. Let me take the Mariners here on the run line tonight, just to get, I think, the best play in here. I'll take the Mariners tonight on the run line with Hancock over Slade Ciccone. Let's get your plays here, and then we'll move here. Jermaine's going to go over since the game's on Peacock. Also, Greg Gibson here, 5-3 Seattle. 9 Legacy says Guardians and Indians money line. Guardians money line. Did anybody ever think, with the jerseys when they moved from the Indians to the Guardians, right? The Indians were so cheap. The Guardians were so cheap that, on one half of the jersey it said it said end, and the other said ends. So they're like, okay, we'll just take off half the patch and we'll put Guardians on that, and they'll still work. They'll say ends. Hancock's on Peacock. Oh, boy. You know what? Good angle there. Blake's on the over. Robert's on the under, though. And Mike Humphrey says he's not a fan of the Mariners. J.P. Farley will take the Mariners. I'm going to take the Mariners on the run line just this once. I was looking at the over, but the market action is heavy on the under, and I'm going to have to reevaluate. Going to have to respect the market here, possibly. That's it for baseball. We got to keep it moving here. We got basketball and hockey to go through, and we want to finish up this show in due time. And let's go to the NBA today and start it off here with the Clippers taking on the Bucks here in this one. Clippers in the tankathon here a little bit against the Bucks, laying 14.5. Doesn't seem real comfortable with the Clippers, but they probably still should be able to at least beat them by double digits here. Maybe a better chance it is a cover rather than not. But we'll see. I think the Bucks are going to have some scoring problems. I know I've been over in a lot of games here right now down the stretch, but with the Clippers here and on the road, I got to think this one's going to be a pretty solid under, and that's what I'm going to do. The Clippers, I kind of like them here at -14, but I think the under is going to be a better play, and I'm going to take the under in this one between the Bucks and the Clippers. Clippers have won 4 straight. They're not covering them all, but they covered 2 of them. They didn't cover against the Pacers or the Mavs, but they covered against the Bucks and Toronto. So they just played the Bucks on the 23rd, beat them 129-96 in that one. So we could see the same kind of result here, maybe. But I think more so, I like the under here in this one. It says 222 on the screen, but I know it's gone down. In fact, it is currently 221. So there you go. I'll take the under in this one with the Clippers. Take it on the Bucks today. In Milwaukee, Milwaukee is not going to the playoffs, but the Clippers currently battling here in the Western Conference, trying to get out of the 8 slot. I don't think they're going to. Maybe more so they're trying to hold on to the 8 slot is what's more important. You've got to have the 8 slot. You get the 8 slot, you've got a pretty good chance, about a 70% chance of going into the next round. So Clippers probably not going to catch the Suns, but they do want to hold off the Blazers and the Warriors and at least try to get the 8 slot. And I will take the under here in this one. Robert's on the under with me. 9 Legacies, Milwaukee Bucks to cover something here. Heat and the Pacers are next, 5:10 Eastern, 2:10 Pacific in this one. Look at the total, 246. That might not be enough, actually. It is down to 245, 244 and a half. I don't know who would bet the under in this game, but maybe so. Maybe it's too high for some. I don't know if it is. But we'll see here, see what you have here with Miami. We're in the tankathon here, and Miami hasn't been the best tankathon team, but this matchup sure is better for them than some of their tankathon matchups. So maybe for me, maybe it will be a Heat play. It is going to be the Heat. But look, this is going to be a real high-scoring game, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what you guys have here in the chat. The Heat have lost 6 of 7, so there are concerns for 2-5 ATS in their last 7. Indiana's covered 5 in a row right now, despite not winning those games. Indiana just 1-4 in their last 5 straight up, but 5-0 against the spread. So I'm still liking the Heat. The Heat are a little bit desperate here right now. They're going into the postseason, that's for sure. They're not going to fall out, but they're in 9th place, tied with the Hornets, just a half a game back of the Magic for that all-important 8th spot here. So I think they take advantage here. I think the Heat can do it, and I'm going to take them lay the points here on the road with the Heat in the tankathon. All right, Robert here did take the that was the last game here. R. Thompson on the under. Greg says Clippers will take him to the woodshed. R. Thompson on the over. 9 Legacy. Pacers on the spread. Pacers team total over. And that might be it. Next up, Magic and Raptors here. You can't have a little Raptor without the Magic. And you've got the Raptors here favored in this one by 2.5 over the Magic. There are some personnel issues, I think, here. Let me get these out, though, real quick with this one, with Toronto at home. They're in, of course, like I said, we know all the teams that are in here. Raptors right now. Yeah, here we go. For the Raptors here, they are tied with the Hawks for 5th, and the Sixers are just a half a game back in 7th. All important there, trying to get up the ranks. I don't think these teams will catch the top 4, so they're really just jostling to, you could almost start that gamesmanship thing of, who you're going to play, but first you got to worry about who's going to make it in there and in the play-in, and, you could fall to 7th. You don't want to fall too much here, but the Raptors are in 5th right now. Could be heading on a collision course with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They could lose here. They could be matched up with the Knicks. So, you're like, hey, if we lose, we might play. Maybe we like the Knicks better. Maybe we like the Raptors. Maybe we like playing the Cavaliers. Anyway, let's see what you have here in this one with Orlando and Toronto. Orlando was on a losing streak before they won last time out against the Kings. Toronto, meanwhile, kind of been alternating wins and losses here of late. So see what you have in this one. Magic taking on Toronto here today. Got some sports in Toronto, huh? All right. And for me in this one, I'm going to take the Raptors here to get it done. I know a lot of people are a little gun shy here on this Raptors team at home, but I think this matchup does favor them here right now. Orlando is 16-19 against the spread on the road. Toronto, not great numbers. They're not quite even 500 ATS at home or as a favorite, but I do think I like them here. More so, Orlando just 33-40 against the spread overall. Toronto is pretty much a 50-50 proposition. I'm going to take Toronto here minus the points. And let's see here. Robert likes the Magic, though, in this one. Greg says Toronto, 9 legacy Raptors over. Our Tom's on the Magic. And let's see here. Toronto could eat the Cavaliers. And they can't beat the Knicks, so yeah. All right, we skipped the Kings and the Nets. Thank you for playing. Let's go to the next one here, Wizards and the Blazers. I'm going to go to the Tankathon. This one I won't talk about it too long on some of these Tankathon games. I'm taking it. I'm laying it with Portland here. The one thing Portland's done, we wonder about, the Thunder, they're so good. They can't cover these big numbers. Portland, I think because of their youthful exuberance, they like blowing teams out of the water. Big covers against Milwaukee and Brooklyn here. They didn't get it against Dallas last time, but pardon me. Man, am I drunk here? Portland 22-15 against the spread at home. Washington 14-22 against the spread on the road. 30-38 against the spread as a dog. So for me, I'm just going with the Blazers here in the Tankathon. It is it's up to 16 and a half, but like I said, the Blazers seem to enjoy in themselves blowing out teams. So maybe they can get it today. Maybe the Wizards, maybe the Blazers are just young enough that they won't be able to finish these guys off in that big of a fashion. But for the Washington Wizards here, they have covered some big numbers against the Warriors last time out, but failed miserably against the Knicks in a 32-point loss, failed against Detroit getting 14. So I am going to take here the Trailblazers here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, there we go in that one. And we're going pretty fast here today, but we do got some good games here for sure. Look at this. Celtics and Hornets here. This one's on regional. This is a regional broadcast today. We didn't know the Hornets were going to be this good. But look, I think in this one, let's not get carried away here. Now, the Celtics are one. In fact, the Hornets are now, I'll call it a pick 'em because there's some support here for the Hornets. And look, I don't know. Usually I'd be on the Hornets, but I think the Celtics here can get this one done. The one thing about this game, though, I mean, the total's 215 and a half, but man, these teams go under big time. They are a combined 54-93 to the under. Charlotte 12-25 to the under at home. Celtics 12-24 to the under on the road. So you're already looking at two teams basically 33% over unders in the scenario. And Charlotte 15-29 to the under as a dog. Boston 18-35 to the under as a favorite. Basically, these teams are going under 65% of the time in a long-term sample for this season. And why wouldn't it happen again here? It is 215. They'll be lucky to get to 210, I think. But I'm going to take the Celtics here as my play over the Hornets. I think we're maybe the Hornets need it more. Maybe they will be the motivated team, and maybe that'll be enough to get them over the hump. The Hornets right now are in 10th place, tied with Miami. You got to get out of 10th if you can. They're playing better than the Magic. Even though the Magic finally won. Maybe they're playing better than the Sixers. Sixers are heating up. Maybe they're playing better than the Heat. They got to win now, though, do the Hornets. But for Boston, they're trying to hold off the Knicks for second place. That's pretty important, and I think they're, still playing well enough here. Problem is Boston has an injury list today that needs to be rectified. And we'll see who does make the lineup. I'm banking on some of these Celtics will make the lineup. Jaylen Brown might not. He's got an Achilles injury, so I'm worried about that. Tatum, I think, is going to be in there today, despite his questionable tag. Anemius Queta, questionable. Derek White, questionable. Vucevic is still out. Salon is questionable for Charlotte. I'm taking Boston here. Usually I'd be on the Hornets right now, but I'm going to take Boston in this one. All right, here we go with Greg says he's got Portland to smack down Washington there. Charlotte played Philly yesterday, so he's on Boston. Robert's on the under here. Celtics full game spread for 9 legacy. Greg Gibson's on the under here as well. Robert's on the Hornets on the money line. And I'm going to take here in this one the Celtics. Next up, Rockets and Pelicans here in this one. I'm going to be on the under in this one. I can already tell you with the Rockets here and the Pelicans. We'll say this, though, for the Pelicans, if you really want to believe in something, they've lost 4 in a row. Doesn't matter because they still cover spreads. They are 1-3, however, in those 4 games, but still long-term, 23-14 against the spread at home for the Pelicans. Meanwhile, for Houston, 17-21 against the spread on the road, 25-39 against the spread as a favorite. This is not the best roll for them at all. The Pelicans are actually covering spreads very, very strong here down the stretch. And they're not tanking, it feels like. For the Pelicans, they've covered 9 of their last 12, despite the fact they've lost 4 of their last 5. And Houston's 1-8 against the spread their last 9 games and 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 on the road. So, I think the Pelicans might hang here, but I'm going to take the under as my play. New Orleans has gone under in 7 of their last 9, also under in 10 of their last 15 against the Houston Rockets. Houston also 32-41 to the under this season. New Orleans gone under in 7 of 9. I got to go under here in this one with Houston and New Orleans. Let's go to the chat. And it's going to be the Pelicans here for Robert. He's also on the over. And that might be it from the chat. Once I start going fast, everyone's out. Okay, the big one here of the night, the Knicks and the Thunder, although that Celtics team is pretty good, but Knicks and Thunder here for the this one's on Peacock. How can they have the same game time there? Well, I guess when you're on Peacock, you can show a bunch of different sports. Which is the main game? Which is one on NBC Sports Network and one on regular NBC? And if so, which is which? Okay, the Knicks here getting points on the road from the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder are good, but we know the Thunder are great. But they still, we say, why don't they cover big spreads? Why don't they cover small spreads too? They've been winning and not covering at a breakneck pace. So the Thunder are still 13-1 their last 14 games, yet just 3-11 against the spread in those same 14 games. Knicks have won 7 of 8. They're just 5-13, however. Against 5-13 against the spread against Oklahoma City, 2-5 ATS overall their last 7 in this one. So I'm going to take the under in this game between the Knicks and the Thunder. I'm going under. Thunder have gone under in 9 of their last 13 games overall. The Knicks are 17-21 to the under on the road and 5-9 to the under as a dog. I think it's worth it here. I'm going to take the under like this play. Let's see what we got in the chat. It's going to be Greg here is on. Well, he's on Houston back there. R. Tom's on the Pelicans. Knicks plus the points for R. Tom's. Greg says 115-109 Thunder. 9 Legacy says, you got some injury factors in here with these Pelicans right now. You've got Murphy out, and DeJounte Murray out as well. Okay, great. I didn't know that. I have him as questionable, but I'm going to take your word for it here. McGowan's is definitely out. But I'm still going to ride with New Orleans in this one. Give me New Orleans plus the points. Next up, 9 Legacy says, the Knicks will cover. And Steve Eleftherian says Knicks and under. Thank you, Steve. One more in the NBA. The Warriors are at the Nuggets here, and how does this one not get to 250 points? I think today. I'll say I'll extendo this one on the over here with the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets may blow them out right now. The Nuggets are not letting up. Talk about playing for the positioning. The Nuggets are taking it very, very seriously right now, unquestionably. The Nuggets here in the West currently in fourth place. You got to get up to at least third here, trying to catch the Lakers. You're not going to catch the Spurs or the Thunder, but third place would be a good result here for the Nuggets, and they're favored by 11.5. Total 238. I'm on the over big time in this one. Give me the over here with the Warriors and the Nuggets. The Nuggets might get them here. That's a lot of points to cover, but I think I'd rather lay it than take it. And I like this one over, man. This one's got to be 244 or higher today. Denver here comes in with that winning streak, but they failed to cover 3 in a row. Meanwhile, for Golden State, 3-game winning streak, 1-2 against the spread in those games. So, all right, let's see what you got. And then we're moving on to hockey, and we're only going to cover 4 of those games because some of the teams are out. Robert is on the Nuggets. And Nine Legacy says this is a nasty game. Take the Warriors here. All right, I'm covering a 4-game hockey slate. There are 6 games overall, but we're not going to cover the Panthers and the Rangers. That would be very disrespectful to you guys. Canadiens here, though, taking on the Hurricanes in this one. Big number here. Hurricanes, $1.80. Total, 6.5 over in this one. See what you got here with Montreal taking on Carolina here. I think we're going to see goals for sure. I think we're going to see goals. Hurricanes a pretty big favorite, $1.80 here. I mean, Montreal, after all, looking pretty good here. They're, playoff bound. They're going to have a finish with a strong position here in the playoffs. They are currently in third place on 92 points, but you do want to have that third place finish. They're only 4 points behind the Lightning and 6 points behind the Sabres. What a season for Montreal. For Carolina, they won their last game, bouncing back from a loss. Certainly consider. They lost to Montreal, of all teams. It was 5-2 in that last game played back on the 24th of March, just 5 days ago. 5-2, Canadiens won. They've won 3 straight in the series here between these two teams. Let's see what you have in the chat with this one, though, with the Canadiens and the Hurricane. For the Canes here, they've won 4 of their last 5, 8 of their last 9 at home. They've won 12 of the last 13 games at home against the Montreal Canadiens. How about that? Montreal, though, playing well, 4-1 straight up, 4-1 straight up last 5 against Carolina, and they've won 5 of their last 6 games overall. The puck line's pretty expensive considering the line's $1.85. I don't even know if it's even worth it here on the puck line with the Montreal Canadiens. They're minus $1.72, so pretty much the same exact price as Moneyline in this one. Give me the over here with Montreal and Carolina. I'll take the over. The chat will make their plays as well. Let's see here. It's going to be I think Philly Eagle Flyers taking over in the Rangers game there. Philly Eagle Flyer over in the Habs game. Hello, Papa Ricky. I saw your message there yesterday, just a little too late. I didn't get to catch it on the air, but thank you, Papa Ricky, last night. Yesterday morning, I mean. Habs on the money line. That's a big number for a team there, says Nine Legacy. Robert McCormick's on the over here. Justin's on the over. I'm on the over. That settles it. I'm on the over. 4-3 Canes, says Greg. And Art Thompson's on the over. Everybody likes the over. I like the over. Predators on the road, taking on the Lightning here in this one. You got the Preds, 34, 30, and 19. Lightning, 25, 21, and 6. Pretty good matchup. Man, then give Mikey Money some credit. Somewhere along the line, many a months ago, he warned us. He said, watch out for the Nashville Predators. He's got them to win the Stanley Cup. Well, I tell you what, they've come all the way back here to get into the playoffs, and I think they're going to hold on. They're 1 point ahead of the Kings. They're 5 points behind Utah, so you're just playing for this one position. You've got Kings on 7, Predators 77, Kings 76, Kraken 75, Jets 74, Sharks 73, Blues 73. And I don't know, we didn't talk about the Flames there the other night, but they've got 70. But with the Predators on the road here, look, this is a big spread, and the Predators hang in there, man. 30-19 is a puck line underdog, not great. Tampa Bay, 26-36 is a puck line favorite. That doesn't sound great, but it's actually pretty darn good. But I don't know. I think the Predators can stay here within the puck line at least here. Price seems pretty decent. A little steeper than I'd like at $1.50, but I'd probably take the Predators here as my play on the puck line with Annunen and Johansson here as the, I think, the backup goalies. I'll peek at the goalie computer here today and see if we should be getting something here. But let's see how you see it here in this one. I would imagine there are going to be some goals here in this game. It's 6.5 over. Let's go to the chat. I'm going to take the over in this one, actually, with the Predators and the Lightning. Give me the over in this one. I think the Lightning going to be hanging in there, but let me see what the chat says here. Tremaine's on the over. Robert's on the over. Philly Eagle Flyer over trifecta. Papa Ricky says Nashville dogs are barking. Our Tom's on the over. A lot of over support. 9 Legacy Nashville money line. Preds got smacked around last night, says Philly Eagle Flyer. That might be a factor as Montreal beat them 4-1. Tampa Bay won their game 4-2 at home against Ottawa. Greg says 4-3 Tampa. I'll take the over here in this one. All right, I think we're going to be finishing up here at the bottom of the hour. Thanks for joining me here for about 2+ hours today. Bruins and Blue Jackets in this one. Blue Jackets, a pretty stiff price here, but look, the Blue Jackets are one of the best home teams in the league by far, really, right? If you think about it, they're 20-9 at home. I don't mean there's some other good teams at home, but compare to the rest of the league. And then, for Boston on the road, they are just 14-14, but we know it's been a lot worse than that late. So they were really in a road slump. Still, Boston has won 4 of 5. They've won 10 of the last 13 against Columbus. But Columbus, 9-4 in their last 13 at home. 8 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams have gone under. 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams here in Columbus have gone under right now. So, if you feel like it might be a little bit of a stiff price, maybe you could just default here to the total in this one. I know the Sharps are on the under, but I don't know if I trust them. I'd probably want to go over in this game. Boston is 28-19 to the over as an underdog. And instead of laying $1.55 with you guys on the air here, which I probably still will do, let's go ahead and take the over here in this one with the Bruins and the Blue Jackets. I'm going to go over with this matchup on Sunday. They did just play a 4-2 game in Boston back in February, but in December was 4-0 Boston at home. The other meeting, this is only the second meeting of the year. They'll meet again, these two teams. All right, I'm taking the over here in this one. In the chat, it's 9 Legacy, Jackets Moneyline team total over, and 9 Legacy says Boston Bruins reverse puck line. There, lay it with Boston. Greg likes it 5-3 for the Bruins. And Philly Eagle Flyer 4-2 Jackets. Okay, great job, you guys. I got one more, and then the show's over. Thank you so much, everybody. We're skipping the Blackhawks and the Devils. Anybody think the Blackhawks or the Devils can salvage their season and get to the playoffs somehow? The Devils are 9 points back, and, the Blackhawks aren't going. Here we go with the final here. What's going to be the Dallas Stars are taking on the Philadelphia Flyers here in this one, with the Flyers a home dog. right? Look, Dallas has been, a great team this season, but they still were on a losing streak before they finally won. Last time out against Pittsburgh. Before that, losses too. Teams like Islanders, New Jersey, Vegas, and Minnesota. They were struggling right there. Dallas was. They're still 22-8 on the road. 34-22 as a favorite. But Philadelphia 16-12 at home this season. They're not a great dog, but I'm probably willing to take them here at the plus money. But let me look at the total as well. Phillies 28-23 to the over as an underdog. However, they're 16-20 to the under at home. So I think it'd probably be more of an under here than an over, though. You know what? I think the price is pretty good for Philly. If you want to take them, I think I'm okay with that. And I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to take Philly, but I'm going to play this total somewhere, probably under in this one. Let me see what you have. The 5.5 over 25, I would probably look to play 6. And the 6 is going to be pretty juiced up, but that's the way I would go. It's 6 under 20 at Bovada. That's not terrible. The Grand Salami's out. It's 37.5 today. This show is over. 9 Legacy Flyers money line, Blackhawks money line. Philly Eagle Flyers got the under in regulation, and he'll take the Devils. Robert Dixon is awake. He's here. He's on the over. Hello to Robert. If Robert's here, the show's over. Greg says 4-2 Dallas. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on the Morning Steam Show. We're going to do the drawing. I hope you had a great day. Hey, anybody interested here with our the UFL? The UFL's in prime time tonight with the Columbus Aviators and the Orlando Storm. Go with the under in the UFL tonight as my pick here between the Aviators and the Storm. It's in prime time tonight there at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, the UFL on ESPN, spring football. All right, I think that's going to do it here for the show. Thanks, everybody. Really had a good time. A lot of sports. We kind of just brushed on the games a little bit with the big schedule. Once we get to the playoffs, we'll be covering baseball in depth with more data points. So far, so good, I think, on the picks. So thank you for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. We'll be back tomorrow with more Morning Steam. We'll also be back tomorrow with VB MMA picks here. We did get the time on the show there, I think, at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Won't be live here on the Sports Money Network. I know that. So thanks for joining me here. And let's do the drawing. Let's hear from Mikey with the commercial, and then we're out of here.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, here we go with the drawing. Who's going to get it? Who wants 1 month of picks from me? I would think it'd be pretty cool. I mean, I said I'm going to have some college baseball, women's college basketball. Don't forget today, Bobby Mack's going to get another month. He's good till August. Here, thank you, Bobby, for everything, all your support, all the picks, man, all the retweets, all the shared, man. I should be paying you, brother. Thank you so much for your support of me here on the Sports Money Network. And that's going to do it for the show. I really appreciate it, everybody. Have a great sports betting day and enjoy those games. Also, college hockey. You heard Jeff last night. Oh, man, I wish. Pretty sure Jeff said Western Michigan. Does anybody remember, you guys? Should have wrote it down. I mean, shame on me. I thought he was saying Western Michigan last night. I know he was talking the total too. Maybe it was in that. I'm going to have a release here, I think. Maybe he sent it out. You know what? Jeff, if you're out there, he did his points parlay, everybody. So make sure you're signed up with Jeff. But man, I wish he did the. Maybe he'll still send it out. But college hockey today, if you look, we're halfway there to the Frozen Four. We got those games yesterday. I like North Dakota to win the Frozen Four after I was watching them yesterday with Jeff on the air. But look, Denver's had a great year, and they are now an underdog. I'm showing $1.30. I think Jeff is on Western Michigan because I was like, man, I don't know. Denver's had a good year. Couldn't believe they were just a pick 'em. Now they're kind of an underdog. The move's on Western Michigan today, and I'm kind of a Denver. I'm a North Dakota fan. Back when I did a sports bar days, I got turned on to college hockey watching. Nate, are you out there watching the Beanpot tournament? They would bring in, to the restaurant. This was in San Diego, okay, and this was in the 90s and a little bit past 2000 as well. And what would happen is the Beanpot tournament, it's such a big deal. They would all four teams would come into my sports bar. It wasn't on, a lot of the games now you get on ESPN Plus, whatever. We had to get on those big satellites. So you have all four of the teams come in, BU, BC, Northeastern, and who am I forgetting? Who's the IB? Oh, Harvard. And so they'd bring in the alumni every year. I probably did it for 10 years. So it was a great tournament. And you know who else used to come in? They'd always ask for their games with RPI as well. And I love North Dakota. North Dakota would come in to watch hockey games on the big satellite dish, North Dakota fans. The Fighting Sioux. What a great name, the Fighting Sioux. And so today, Denver and Western Michigan, Minnesota, Duluth, and Michigan with two more spots to the Frozen Four here. So that should be good. And also the ladies' games today coming up here in just 90 minutes. Notre Dame and Connecticut. Connecticut's favored, but Notre Dame's look pretty good. They lost games during the year. Connecticut's unbelievable. They're 34-0. I'm sure they'll win again. And I don't know if I can even send it out. I don't even know if I can get on the air, but I might take Notre Dame plus 27.5 points. Why wouldn't I make it just a pick here on the air, you guys? Look, Connecticut's incredible. They're awesome. They're Connecticut. Aziz Fudd, she's great. I love her. But hey, Notre Dame's got some players too. And later on, Duke and UCLA. Man, Lauren Betts has taken over here. But 11 points, that seems a lot too. UCLA just one loss. They've almost been overlooked a little bit with the way some of the teams have played in the women's Elite Eight here today. So good basketball. I'll have packages all day. Make sure you're signed up over at winnable.com/Ramon. This is what you do. More plays from me. Look, I'm giving you baseball, basketball. You guys are good too. I mean, but I'm coming in with those other sports. I love to look at, all I do is I read the beat writer stories and try to look at the, overall stats and the ratings. There are ratings out there and I like looking at those. So thanks everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Art Thompson likes Notre Dame in that game. So I do too. Art Thompson, let's do it. Might be the Art Thompson Ramon play of the day. Notre Dame plus 27.5 against UConn there in that one. And look, the thing is, as good as UConn is, Notre Dame is going to be able, I think, to score. I think that's going to be the key for Notre Dame. As I think they will be able. They're not going to get
final.
Look, if you look at the spread, right, you're looking at what? 83 to 58. I don't think so. I don't think Notre Dame is going to be held to under 60 points in that game. If they get to 60, Notre Dame covers. If they don't, I think that's going to be the problem. But I think Notre Dame gets to 60 points against Connecticut. I think realistically here, 85 to 60 gets you home. 85-60 sounds like a blowout. That's a cover for Notre Dame and Connecticut, and maybe my pick I might send out will be on the over here. Maybe I'll just wait for the Duke UCLA game to have a pick on the winnable service, but I might have both games in there, because if it's 85-60, we're getting home with Notre Dame. Look, 10 losses. It seems like you've got badass Connecticut here, 34-0. Another year of greatness for Connecticut. Nobody likes it, but you're going to be tired of Connecticut. All right, you guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you here tomorrow with more Morning Steam. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las
Time
Vegas.
to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.